people that have an interest in keeping you stupid. Basically, that's it. Because if you're stupid, you're malleable, you're pliable, you're trainable, you're able to be indoctrinated, conditioned, inculcated. Do you understand? And that's pretty easy to do because the fear motivator is big, and this has to do with the power of the purse. You understand? The power of the purse is this wanton satanic power. Remember, money, no form of money is something God invented. It's a bad idea, okay? And it's evil. It shows how evil gained a lot of control at the original sin, the fall of man. Okay, there was some exchange there. Okay, there was, even though it was won through deceit, trickery, lies, okay, that's how we were duped out of our innocence as human beings, whereby we'd be walking around naked and thinking nothing, just like all the other creatures. We'd have that degree of maturity. I mean, we were by far and away the most intelligent creature. We need to ask these questions. And I like to inspire thought, invoke thought in people. We need to ask these fundamental questions. What is wrong with our species? What is, and I'm talking about myself too. I'm part of the species. I can be prudish as hell. I can be modest as hell. Genuinely. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, don't want to, be flashy, and you've got to be modest and don't want to offend anyone. So it's good to be prudish, right? Oh, I get it. But then there's another side of me, I have to admit, that's not like that at all. That rebels against that one. And says, hey, I think, it's like if you don't like what you see, don't look. I get it. And people want to walk around naked. I mean, who am I to judge, to say they shouldn't? I mean, what was the first question God asked us after the fall when we ate this metaphorical fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? What is this allegory? What's the meaning? What did we do? What went wrong here? Okay, what was the big deal? What pissed God off? What hurt him so badly that he said, I wish I didn't even create these people? And the curse, the subsequent curse, when everything bad, all the bad crap we all have to face across the board, organically, from birth, predators, even insects, arachnids, snakes, I mean, you name it. There's a ton of them. Ocean creatures, land creatures that can devour us. Diseases, a plethora of diseases. And death. I mean, worst of all, death. But gravity itself, you got to watch your step on that cliff, buddy. That'd be a horrendous death. Car accidents, gravity. I mean, it's inertia and momentum, all that crap. The sun is too bright. That pisses me off. It's too damn hot. What's a supposedly loving, all-powerful God? What's this with the punishing, brutal heat, huh? What's wrong? You're impotent. You're feckless. You understand? So there's a rebellion in all of us, a schism. And the only way we can ever get to the bottom of it and sort stuff out is by turning to God. To sort all this crap out. What's driving us to be miserable, to sabotage our own happiness? It's because of the scientific fact of osmosis. We're all inextricably interconnected, and there's not a damn thing any of us can do about it. We're in this thing together. This evil soup, this stew. And the only way out is to love our enemies out. That's the way out. But remember, they're going to project that you're a phony. There's no possible way you could genuinely love them, so you're just a liar. You're no better than them. Don't judge me. Don't tell me what I'm doing is immoral, wrong, unethical. You're a religious fanatic. You understand? I mean, it's without God's power in the righteous, decent people out there that just want an iota of progress, and I'll shut the hell up. I want to get on a new trajectory, though. the one we've been on my whole life with the assassination of JFK when I was 5. America's been going down the tubes, and nobody can refute that fact. And it has to do with this wealth imbalance, the theft of the monetary policy, the money printing class. This is when America started going down the tubes. The Labor Department's been obviously deliberately remiss this whole time. The consumer price index is a simple mathematical equation. You see how I'm fitting all this stuff together? It's not the organic stuff that really pisses me off, because that's across the board. We all face that. But it's the stuff that's biased, that's discriminating, that's exclusive, that picks on people, okay? Subjugates people, enslaves people, takes away their hope, makes them desperate, drives the crime, drives the vices, drives the misery, drives the escapism, drives the sin. What's causing the people to be sick and twisted? Because there's a lot more than just mental illness. Okay, there's emotional illness, and that's what we are. We're emotionally ill, and by extension, we're socially ill. How can we not be? How can we not be? We call ourselves a Christian nation, and we tolerate all this homelessness. I haven't taken a bullet to the head for the cause. And how do we justify this? How do we rationalize it? We're delusional. We have to confess our sins to God and say, God, help us. Go easy. Go easy on us, please, because we deserve great wrath. We've been bad children. My God, we have complied to people that would dare start a war to be relevant, for profit. That's the world we live in. The problems don't get solved, not because there's not a myriad of solutions out there, simple, plentiful solutions, painless solutions. Not to mention the easier and easier stuff that would have prevented it. In the first place, if you just enacted checks and balances, oversight, accountability with the Labor Department, could have prevented the wealth imbalance. All this poverty. How do we justify this? All these people that criticize the welfare recipients and the poor people as being defective. Somehow they're on alcohol or drugs or just stupid, lazy people, moochers. And then you're willing to spend $50 billion a year and you're silent about Section 8 housing? What do you know about that? Do you know that all that money's going into the pockets to enrich fat cats and causing the problem of unaffordable housing to get worse, exacerbating the problem, causing homelessness by extension? Not criminals. My God almighty, if they were criminals, they'd be in jail costing the taxpayers $100,000 a year per inmate, per year. Do you get it? And then when they come out of prison, they mollycoddle them and find them housing, make sure they're okay, and give them all the welfare they need. So in other words, they're incentivizing crime by so doing. People know this is, duh. Word gets around, word of mouth, man. That's the society you live in. Don't try to make sense out of it. Don't listen to nuts radicals like me who tell you there's a whole nother way to look at it. It has nothing to do with religion. Remember, it was the religious people that hated Jesus. He questioned their authority, like Cartman would say on South Park. How dare you question my authority? So they strung him up. They're beating him, punching him in the face, spitting in his face, putting a crown of thorns on his head, making him carry his own cross, hang him high, put nails through his hands and feet, humiliated, naked. It's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of an angry God, my friends. And that's what I fear for people. That's where we're headed. It's a repent or perish for the whole collective civilization. That's my message to everybody. Yes, value compunction. Value it. The reason we have homelessness in America has nothing to do with a housing shortage. I've done my own research. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth. And if you think I'm a liar in this regard, so be it. Why believe any history? Why believe anybody? You got to decide. You're going to trust somebody. You're going to believe somebody. But the reason problems don't get fixed is because it's a monetary incentive to maintain the problems. Do you understand? God forbid that the problem should ever go away of desperate poverty, because it drives the vast majority of crime. And even all these small courts, TV, look, how much money are we pouring into this stuff? Remember, when ads are run to run these shows, you pay extra for the products. Even if you're going to buy the product, it goes up. It's just like this Section 8 housing. A landlord could say, oh, well, I'm excluded. I don't even take Section 8 housing. The fact that the industry is subsidized to that level has everything to do with what all the landlords are, they call it the going market rate, right? Something to that effect, which is a totally manipulated rate. It's price rigging, price fixing from different collusive special interest groups. So people got to know who to be angry at. And be angry with your Congress and your Senate, this critical mass of really evil men, the money printing class, that's a Federal Reserve, who had every incentive in the world to kill JFK in 1963 because he was eliminating them. He was already circulating a new currency. It supplanted the Federal Reserve. We didn't need them for anything. There was a new dollar going around, and the people were fine with that. Do you understand? Because he saw that there was some shenanigans, some evil goings on early on. Okay, and he didn't trust them. And he was on the side of the American people. He was a true capitalist. He was a good guy. He was a good American. You understand? That was on everybody's side. He wasn't exclusive. He believed in equality and fairness. And that's why the American people loved JFK. Okay? And he was a little naive to think that there wasn't going to be some badass Satanists, for all intents and purposes, who would dare have the nerve, the gall to murder, cold-bloodedly murder the President of the United States, the head of the state, the nation, that is, the most powerful nation on the face of the earth. And you don't think that's a juggernaut of pure evil? I mean, these people will stop at nothing. There's no holds barred. They're vile, and they still get away with this stuff. They're pushing this bad religion, this establishmentarianism, this status quoism. Trust us, comply, conform. We're the smart ones. We're the learned ones, educated ones, worldly wise ones, the ones with common sense and logic and reason. We're down to earth. It's about success, dummy, right? Don't give me that do-goody-good BS. It's about money, pleasing your masters, fitting in, making a lot of money at all costs. Doesn't matter if the other half of the people die. That's their problem. If you can do it, anybody can do it, right? I mean, I get it, and you should get it too. That's how they think. That's why this thing is going on right under our noses. But this is a clash between good and evil, and we have to decide now which side we're on. Are we on the side of humanity, of us uniting, okay, and overcoming this juggernaut of pure evil genius, of these people that want you dead? They're very overt. They're unabashed. They're in your face, evil. They want to get rid of the vast majority of people. These are the saviors of the earth, who won't even inject into their conversation about overpopulation and how it's just humans because of the carbon footprint that are destroying the planet. And there's no solution except to get rid of the vast majority of humans, the useless feeders, the plebs, the commoners. Who needs them anymore? We have mechanization, automation, state-of-the-art technology, 21st century, industrial age in full bloom. We don't need all these minions just sucking up the resources, screwing up the planet. So these are the saviors, self-appointed saviors of the earth, Satanists for all intents and purposes. Some of them do get into that stuff, Luciferianism and all that, rituals. They're in the Bilderberger group. Not all of them. That's the tricky part. But in the Congress and the Senate, the Federal Reserve, and the worst one of all, because it's so sneaky and underhanded, so stealthy. It's like, wow, I never thought about the Labor Department. They could have prevented all this. So they're obviously in the pockets. They're lapdogs for the same class of people I'm talking about, the Congress and the Senate and the Federal Reservists. They're working in conjunction, colluding with each other against the best interest of the people. And all these other people that go along with it in the system, the following establishmentarians, these religious class, remember, it's the Congress and Senate, they're like the priest class. And the Grand Poobah mastermind kingpin class are in the Federal